Indeed, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. I just came from Ireland yesterday. I've been there for 10 days. And upon leaving, I noticed in Dublin the great Guinness Brewery. And over the side of that building, there's a great big sign that says, "We're all a Guinness." In any event, there were these three Irishmen that were responsible for great big vats of Guinness. And one day, Paddy fell into a vat of Guinness. And his two confreres came running over and said, "Oh my God, what are we going to tell his wife and kids that he drowned in a vat of Guinness?" Well, when they got up there and looked, they saw Paddy with his two arms out in the vat of Guinness saying, "Oh God, give me a mouth worthy of the occasion." So that's what I'm praying for tonight. Indeed, as a great Master Icahart of the 13th century once said, "If the only words you say in all of your life is thank you, that will be enough." And so I gather tonight with all my honorees. I'm very humbled to be in their presence and with all of you. And I want to simply say that with deepest gratitude that I'm here tonight. I thank God for all the blessings He's bestowed upon me. I thank God for my family that's here tonight, for my little community of little brothers and sisters of the Eucharist, and for all my Irish brothers and sisters that are here tonight, and all of you. It's just a time of profound gratitude. And especially, I'm grateful for my mother and my father who came here actually, my father came here in about 1926, and one of his first jobs was working on the terminal tower. And he worked in that, he told me, for 10 hours a day for 25 cents an hour, 7 days a week. And as you know, it took 3 years to build the terminal tower. And my mother, when she came here, she, as a young woman at 17, left Ireland, and she only knew that little village where she lived, didn't know what was awaiting for her when she came here. But she got a job as a nanny up in Cleveland Heights, taking care of children, cooking, scrubbing, cleaning. My father, one day, many years ago, I was working on the building trades with him, and at the end of the day, about 15 minutes before you're supposed to quit, he'd come over and find me and say, "Jimmy, come here." And he'd take me out, and we'd go over and look at all the footers and ditches that we had done that day. And he said, "Maybe you don't find me on my knees at night in prayer like your good mother." But he says, "This is my prayer. I don't do this work to please some foreman or superintendent. I do this because of my love for God. And that's why I work so hard." And I thought, what a powerful message he gave me. It's that everything we do out of gratitude to God for all the blessings we have received. And my mother as well, with her own beautiful sense of goodness and always helping in the neighborhood, always providing a meal for someone or baking something for someone. But my mother and my father, I watched them, I was just thinking, when they came here, they got married right at the beginning of the Depression. And yet my brothers, my sister Eileen here tonight, my two brothers, Gene and Joe, have been called home by God. But we never lacked for anything, even though there were very difficult times. And so I'm deeply grateful for all of their blessings and what they have given to me. I stand here tonight because of them. And in accepting this honor, it's for them. It's out of love for my parents and gratitude for what they gave me. And also in gratitude for all the little people I've known in my life who have been such a great blessing. People who have had nothing, who are homeless, who are poor, and we still have so many with us, but we must never forget that they are our blessing. As one man told me, I walked up to the corner at 35th one day, and he said, "Reverend, why are you here?" I said, "Well, I want to be of some help if I can be. And he said, look, he said, first of all, you want to be poor like I am poor, don't you? I said, I do. I really do. He said, well, you're not going to be. He said, because you have an education. I'll never be anything but poor. And this is a man that's been 20 years in prison, was still an alcoholic. And I was trying to find a way to be present to people. And there was a big barrel there, and he said, think of this barrel as being filled with tar. And he said, if you get in this tar with me, neither of us are going to get out. But if you simply stand nearby the barrel of tar, then when I'm in there, you can pull me out. So your only purpose of being here is just to be present to people. Let them be able to come and sit and share with you their struggles, their pains. And that will be enough. And so today, as I receive this honor, it's not mine, it's God's. And it's all these little people that have enriched my life. I've learned so much from little people. From people that in our world today we ignore. We don't think that they're worthy sometimes. They don't have money. They don't have that wealth. But they need us. They need us to walk with them, to look them in the eyes. You don't have to give money to every person that comes up and confronts you and looks at you. Sometimes it's not about that at all. It's just looking at them in their eyes and giving them dignity. And that will make the difference. And so there's so many programs that we need to look at to help our people. But more often than anything, is to realize that they are the greatest gifts we can have in this country. And this nation was built on the lives of poor immigrant people. My father, when he came from Ireland, I thought of that movie, The Titanic. That's the way he got to America, was shoveling coal to keep the ship going. And it dropped him off in Quebec. He had no papers. He came in undocumented. And he found his way to his oldest sister, Delia, who was living on Magnolia Drive. And how in God's name he found Magnolia Drive at 2 o'clock in the morning, coming all the way from Canada, I don't know. But I know when he said, my aunt told me this, he was greeted with a double-barrel shotgun. And the man of the house called my aunt and said, do you have a brother Owen? I do, she said, but he's in Ireland. Well, there's a wild-looking man outside my door tonight. He said he's Owen. So she came down and she couldn't believe it. And she passed out, she said. She could not believe that he found his way to this little place on Magnolia Drive. And that attorney she was working for took him back to Canada and got him papers to bring him into this country, documented. So I'm very mindful of undocumented people. But my father got a chance and made the best of it. And so I'd like to share with you, I left my mother's place of birth just the other day, and these words were written outside of the little abbey where she went to Mass and Communion every day. And I thought my mother came here with a tremendous sense of courage and strength, and my father came with the same kind of spirit. But right outside this abbey called the Ballintubber Abbey, it says this: this has been a place of prayer since its people were baptized by St. Patrick in the year 441 AD. Their graves facing the east and the rising sun are symbols of their faith. The abbey that refused to die is a symbol of their enduring hope. And my mother came with that courage and that hope. And my father came with that courage and that hope. And so I thank God for all of them. Thank God for this moment tonight to honor them for what they have done in their own simple, humble little ways. And that all of us are here somehow because of people like this that had nothing, hardly any education, but they had a lot of faith and a lot of love and a lot of hope. And that's what they leave us tonight. And so in the words of the great Rabbi Herschel, just to be is a blessing, and just to live is to be holy. God bless you. Thank you.